going to crochet with Potter and Bloom.
It is a glorious day here in Blighty, and so it's very fitting that today I'm going to do a tutorial on these pretty, oh my gosh, they're so cute. Look how colourful they are. These pretty coasters, really easy to make. You can make them in all sorts of different colours. I really quite like doing them in the naturally colour. It's not quite white, I'll show you. It's like, I'll put the actual colour of it and a link to it in the box below. But I thought it looked really nice with the really bright edges. So you can make a little set, make a nice Easter present. You can make a little set of them. Alternatively, you can make them in different colours. These are ones that I made and I haven't edged yet. So I think, I mean, you can have a plain coaster. They look nice, don't they? But I think they look quite nice with something, maybe a colour change or something a little bit more detailed on the edge. So you can make them in any colour that you want. This was a prototype before I got to this. So you see the difference. I thought it just looked a bit, I wanted to do pom-pom coasters, and I am going to try again, and I think I'm going to try again, and I'm going to do a pom-pom here and then one here in this middle stitch, because I think if there were more pom-poms on it, it wouldn't look quite so stark. I mean, I quite like it, but so yeah, that's a prototype. So it's just trying to show you that you can do whatever you want. But what you're going to need is grab yourself a whole load of different coloured cotton. Now I am using Drops Paris. I'll name all of the colours in the box below so that you know which one I've used. And I think for this video I might use this nice corally colour. Okay, so let's get started. I will stop waffling, although I tend to not really stop waffling at all ever. It might help if I put my other light on. Yeah, it does help hugely. There's a knot in my yarn, so if I cut that away. Right, are you ready, everybody? Slip knot, whichever way you like to do that. And we're going to start with a chain 4. Sorry, I'm using Drops Paris cotton. I couldn't say that then. Drops Paris cotton, which is slightly fatter than other hand knit cottons, which I quite like. But it means that I am actually using a 5mm hook. Okay, so if you're going to use Drops Paris, then yeah, use a 5mm hook. But equally, if you've got a different type of hand knit cotton that is slightly finer, just use a 4mm hook. You're going to get the same result. Okay, so I've chained 4 and then I'm joining with a slip stitch. If you need to find out about how to do that, there is a video for that. I will put a link in the box below. Or maybe if I can figure out how to do it, I'll put a link on the video. But that's how we begin. Okay. And now we're going to chain 3. Oh, my tummy's rumbling. Oh no, that does not bode well, because you're going to hear it rumbling all the way through the video. We're going to chain 3 and then we're going to work 2 trebles into that central loop. And again, I've talked about this so many times before. The loop never really becomes hugely apparent until you've got your first 2 trebles in there. So trial and error, just keep working at it and you will get there in the end. So we've done chain 3 and 2 trebles, and now we're going to chain 1. And now we're going to chain, no we're not, we're going to do 3 trebles into the loop. 1, 2, 3. Make sure I do this on screen. 3 trebles and 1 chain. Okay, and then we're going to do that again 3 more times. So 1, 2, 3 trebles and 1 chain. That's 1, 3 trebles and 1 chain. That's 2, and you can just sort of maneuver it around if you feel like you're going to run out of space in your loop. Just pull it and tug it. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and that's the 3rd one. And you've got something like that, and then join with a slip stitch into the top of the beginning chain 3. Okay, you might need to wiggle it about a bit so that you can see. Yeah, let me just make sure that I'm doing that on screen. And that's it, you're all done. Okay, so you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 3 trebles. Okay, now we need to start the next round from this space here, and we're currently over here. So what we're going to do is slip stitch across the top of these 2 stitches, and again, if you watch the slip stitch video, it will tell you everything you need to know if you find that all a little bit confusing. So we slip stitch across and then we slip stitch into that space. So now I'm where I want to be. Okay, and now I'm where I want to be. I'm going to chain 3 again and do 2 trebles, and try to talk really loudly so you can't hear my tummy rumbling. I did have 2 Weet-Bix for my breakfast, but that was quite a long time ago. So second round begins with 3 trebles, and then we're going to, the second round begins with chain 3, 2 trebles, and then we're going to chain 1, and in the same space do 3 trebles, 3 more trebles. Okay, get out of the way, wool, you're really annoying. So you've got something like that, and then all we do is chain 1 and do exactly the same thing, 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles into every space all the way around. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1. Okay, into the next space. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3. So Drops Paris is a bit, it can be, I mean, I find cotton quite difficult to work with anyway, because the threads are generally quite loose and they're not woven together so tightly, so you do sometimes get odd bits of the yarn sticking out. So look, it will look like, if, so for instance, it looks like the yarn's made out of like 10 threads, and sometimes you will get 1 thread or 2 threads that seem to pop out when you're working, which is a little bit annoying because you can be spending a lot of time making something look incredibly gorgeous, and then the whole effect is spoilt by this one thread. And I know that it's something that people who work with cotton a lot find irritating. So if you can see on that middle stitch, it looks like, I tend to find that if you just give it a bit of a wiggle and a pull, it sorts it out. It's like, oi, you cotton yarn, get back in place. Yeah, you just got to show it a firm hand. That's my answer to everything. Show it a firm hand. Yes, so just give it a good wiggle if you think it's going to spoil the look of your work. Yeah, try giving it a wiggle and see if that sorts it out, because it may well do, and then you don't have to start all over again. I mean, I have on a number of occasions had to start all over again, especially with a big commission that I did last year. And I got like 5 rounds later and realised that this one bit of cotton was sticking out. It was so annoying. So I've got to the end and I've chained 1, and then I'm joining with a slip stitch into the top of my beginning chain 3. Okay, so now what you have is what looks like a little hexagon, which is pretty cute in itself, isn't it? I'm doing that whole cream against white, which is not so easy, but this is what you should have. And again, my next round I want to start from this gap, and I'm over here, so I'm just going to slip stitch across these 2 stitches, and then slip stitch into the space that I want to start from, and we are going to commence round 3, and that's the final round, and it's easy peasy. Chain 3, 2 trebles in that same space, chain 1, and then 3 trebles, chain 1, all the way around. Oops, done it again, give it a wiggle, chain 1, and this is your final round of your coaster. So if you're doing this in, if you want simple crochets, if you want simple coasters and you're doing them in plain, not plain, in different colours, then this will be your final round. I don't know why, but my camera just stops recording sometimes. It really needs to not do that. Because I'm more often than not looking at my hands and not the screen, so sometimes I don't know how long it hasn't been recording for. It's very annoying. Okay, so you're just doing 3 trebles into every space all the way around with 1 chain in between. Okay. I think this is probably going to be the last of my Easter inspired tutorials, patterns, although I am seriously loving all of the pretty pastel-y and Eastery colours on my Instagram feed at the moment. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I am Potron Blue. Come and join me over there, because I love it. I do, I love it. Nearly there. One more to go, and then I'm clearly going to need to eat some lunch because my stomach is going crazy. And again, my stitches have popped up. Chain 1 and join with a slip stitch, and you are done. And that is my pretty easy coaster. It is pretty, it is easy. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Now, you can either leave it like that and have a set of 4. That looks nice, doesn't it? That's a nice present. Or you can make it look so fancy. Look how fancy they are. Oh my gosh, I just think that they are the cutest things ever. But then I would, because I designed them. So I'm going to show you how to do their pretty bobble edging. Well, they're actually called picots, pretty picot edging, you can call it. Okay, so you get your you get another colour yarn. I'm using this pretty coral shade, and you join it. Let's have a look. Let me show you where you need to join it. You join it into the top of one of these 3 treble groups. Okay, doesn't matter which one. Just join it in there, pull it tight, and chain 1. Which acts as your first double crochet, and then into the next treble work a double crochet. That's all you have to do, and then you make your picot. And to do that, very loosely chain 3, and then slip stitch into the first chain of your chain 3. Can be a bit tricky, but that's it. You've created a picot, and to finish it off, work a double crochet into the next treble. Oh, that's my tummy rumbling. It doesn't look like much, but wait a few seconds. So then we work into a space, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, another picot, 1, 2, 3, nice and loosely, and slip stitch into the beginning of the chain, and then work another double crochet into the space, because you want to match. So because you've got, oh, here I am, because you've got 3 stitches here and you're picoting in the middle of the 3 stitches, you want to match that in the space. So even though the space is only 1 chain, you're going to be working 3 double crochets into that and a picot in the middle one, and then you've just got to sort of push it along, because you've then got to work your next double crochet into the first of the next 3 treble group, and then a double crochet into the middle one, and again 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the beginning and double crochet. Okay, so you start getting that effect. I'll show you one more time in the space. So you're matching the space to the treble groups. So you do 2 double crochets into the space, 1, 2, you work your picot, 1, 2, 3, you slip stitch back into the first of those chains. Oh, she says, I'm trying to get it through. and then you do another double crochet in that same space. Okay, and then double crochet into the next 3 treble group. Okay, so carry on doing that all the way around, and I will meet you at the end. So you should have something like this. I'm joining you just at the end so that I can just do the picot again with you. 1, 2, 3 chains, slip stitch into this beginning chain to make a picot, a pretty picot. Okay, DC, DC, picot. I love anything that's sort of fairly repetitive. You can't really go wrong. And then this is the last treble group. One, 2, 3. Whoops. The last treble group, and then DC, and you're at the end. So this is the last space. So 2 DCs, picot on the top of the second, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the first of those 3. Oh, that one's gone messy. I will do that again. One, 2, 3. There we go. And then your final DC in your space, and then just join with a slip stitch to that beginning chain 1, and then that completes your work. You made a pretty coaster. You just got to turn it over and sew in all your ends, but you are a coaster boaster. Check it out. Oh my goodness me, it looks like the Olympic logo. Crochet the Olympic logo. That will be a new video for the summer, I think. I hope that that was useful. I hope you make lots and lots of these beautiful coloured coasters for Easter, and if you do, make sure you show me on Instagram. Yeah, I hope it was good, and yeah, thanks for watching. Leave me a comment if you want to, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.